Hi Ed, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you tonight,
What have you
Diana?
been up to?
Well, I've been very busy getting ready for my presentations and having a really good time doing it.
Well, you know, I was at that presentation. It was really fabulous.
Thank you.
Could you tell us some more about how social media impacts healthcare?
Oh, well, I only have, I think, 1 minute. The biggest impact is going to be how patients are getting together. And I think that as much, even though we have a lot of really great work going on here at the Mayo Clinic Center for Social Media, and I see a lot of energy from healthcare professionals, it's really going to be the patients who are driving this, who are getting together, collaborating, sharing knowledge, walking into their doctor's offices with reams of information saying, this is what I've learned, please advise me. And I believe that most doctors are not prepared for this change.
You know, I have to think you're right. As a provider, I sit there and my patients walk in with a stack of information, just
Right.
like you say, and then maybe they contact me, they've looked me up, they're seeing if I'm online. Do you think that online presence is going to be a key factor as we move forward?
It's very important because there's so much information out on the internet. There are so many different voices that are with opinions about what kind of treatments and processes to go through. And what's really missing are the professionals like yourself who are contributing, who are looking at information and organizing it in a way that makes sense and that you know is medically accurate.
Well, I think you've inspired me to move forward. I'm on Twitter now,
Good.
and I'll get started, so thank you.
I look forward to following you on Twitter. Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Social Media Conference here in Rochester, Minnesota. What's been your highlight so far for you?
Well, thanks, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here. I've had a couple of highlights, actually. One was purely frivolous, and that was seeing the Cowans last night at the member dinner. That was really a special treat. But I think one of the highlights really was the patient panel that we had yesterday morning, and seeing and listening to the stories that those patients told really was very inspirational, and I think really gave that insight into this huge paradigm shift that we're seeing with social media, where we're really moving from social media from being about marketing to social media really being about using it for health outcomes and really changing the way we are going to start delivering health care in the future by engaging providers, engaging patients in a whole different dialogue about how do we become healthier as individuals in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Sounds
Dan.
fantastic.
So Dan, what was your favorite moment of the conference so far?
Well, actually, there have been two, and they're kind of related to folks from around the world and from around social media coming here to Rochester, Minnesota. The little song of Know Your Numbers was fun, exciting, and upbeat. And I think it's just memorable. And for me, it was really fun to know lots of the actors. And then the second part of it, I'm actually here with you, and we're videoing with Ed Bennett, who's someone that I've watched and heard about and read about on Twitter. And actually, he showed up at my workplace yesterday in the Center for Innovation, and we talked shortly, and then I got to see his speech and conversation today, and I learned in probably a 30-minute speech 4 or 5 things that in 2 or 3 years of doing Twitter on my own, I would have never known. So it's kind of fun to both see people from around the world come here and connect, but also to have folks jump out of Twitter space into our space here. So for me, that's been the highlight. And to meet you.
Well, that's great, Dan. So it is fun. I think that's the other fun thing that I've seen too on Twitter is the excitement of all these people who have come for the first time and met some of the rock stars of the social media space, like Ed Bennett and Lee Ozzie and Meredith Gould and Chris Boyer and others. That has been a real part of the excitement of this conference.
Ed's ready to pay you guys.
Well, and I was just going to add that it was also fun to see Mayo participants, including Diana Arbello, who's a provider here at Mayo Clinic, and it's fun when our docs can take the time and have an experience like this too. It really, it's medical, but it's not the typical medical conference.
Great.